Okay, so let's create our player. Go to sample scene. First, let's create a plane. I already created it, but let me do it again so that you can understand how I'm building my game. So let's delete that. So first, go to sample, right click, and then go to object, and then go to 3D object, and then press plane. Now that we have our plane in X in the inspector on the right, press go to scale. Scale is what gives the length and the width and the height of the game object. We created a game object plane. We want to give it a height and a length, which we're gonna give it 500x, and z is also is the width. No, z is the length, and x is the width. So this we're gonna give it 500. That's it. Okay, now we have our scene. We want to create our player, so go back to hierarchy and press right click on scene, and then game object, and then 3D object, and click capsule. Now that we have our capsule created, let's give it some animation. First, press on the green arrow and pull it up so it can be so that capsule is on the plane, not inside of it. And then go to project, this project here, right click, create, and then C# script. C# script is what gives the capsule its movement. C# gives behaviors and movement to game objects. So after you create C# script, click on its title, and then when you click on its title, it's gonna give you the option of changing the title of that C# script. I called mine move to, but you can call yours whatever you want. Click on the C# script. So we have two methods, start and update. These are two default methods that appear every time you create a new C# script in Unity, only in Unity, not anywhere else. So what are these methods? Well, these start and update are methods that Unity uses to update its frame. Starts executes when start gets executed the first time the game object appears in the game. So in at the very beginning, when the game object that contains this C# script appears in the game, start executes. After that, its void updated gets executed. So every time any time that the game object that contains this C# script appears in the game, starts get executed when it first appears. After that, it's always update that gets executed, and so start executes once, and then it's always update. So let's start coding. So we want to move, first let's deal with how to move the game object that contains this script. So to move the game object that contains the script, we have to write transform dot position plus equal. I'm going to explain everything, just let me finish what I'm doing. New vector 3 0 0 10 times So what does this code means? Well, transform position is the game object that contains this script. So whenever you say transform dot position, you're telling the game object that contains the script to do something. So you were adding to the position of the game object that contains the script a vector. A vector is basically a direction, a direction, a number that contains a direction and a magnitude. The magnitude is 10, and the direction is in the z-axis, because this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and this is the z-axis. Transform dot position is the position of the game object that contains the script. We're saying add to its position 10 units in the z-axis. This is the z-axis, this is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. So we're saying in the direction of the z-axis, add to its position, to the game object that contains this script, add to it 10 units in the z-axis every second. But we want to control this movement. So if we want to say that we want this game object that contains this script to move 10 units in the z-axis every second, what we can do is put an if and then input, which checks if we got any key press, and then check the key press, get key, and then define the key that we want, key code. Let's say we want a W. We want W every time the W is pressed, and as long as we have our hand pressed on W, we want the game object to move in the Z direction. So let's press W and close it. Now we have let's cut it, let's put it inside this. Okay. So now we have every time, as long as we have our hand pressed on W, the game object that contains this script will move 10 units in the Z direction. So what is this statement, and why did I put it there? Well, this is called a conditional statement, which means that if the condition of if is satisfied, execute whatever is inside the bracket. Otherwise, skip if and go to the next statement beneath it. So, if this condition between the parentheses is true or happens, execute this statement. So what I'm saying is, if input key W, that is, if input catches W is pressed, it will add to the position of the game object that contains this script 10 units in the z-axis every second. This means that every time W key is pressed, the capsule or the game object that contains this script will move in the z-axis 10 units per second. Before we move on, change this to match this. Wherever you called your script, put it here. So mine is move to, so I put move to. And that's it. Now we're ready. So let's test it. Let's go to Unity and start the game. Now I'm gonna press W and see, anything else we can't do anything else because we only assigned it to go forward. We cannot go backward, we cannot go sideways. So let's do the backward key, the sideways key. So I've taken the liberty of finishing it. So to go forward we press W, to go backward we press S. At backwards, the Z direction is the forward and backward. The Y direction, which is this, is upward and downward. And the Z direction is sideways. So sideways plus 10 or minus 10. it goes plus 10, it goes to the right, minus 10, it goes to the left, and when it's on the z-axis, when it's minus 10, it goes backwards. So let's test it. Let's test it. Now, it goes front. Oh, I didn't save it. You have to save your C# script when you finish coding. Don't forget to save it. Now let's try it. It's saving. Now we play the game. Let's test it again. Okay, there you go. Right, backward. Now, if you want to go diagonally, you press the W and D at the same time. It goes diagonal. And if you want to go diagonal on the other side, it goes diagonal. It's A and W. A and W goes diagonal, the other side diagonal. So let's continue on. I added a jump button, the spacebar here. I said get key down, key code space. So every time I press the spacebar, transform jumps in the y direction, because the y direction is the upward and downward, the z is back and forth, and the x here is sideways. Notice, instead of writing get key, instead of saying get key, I said get key down. Get key down, the reason is with get key, as long as I have my finger on the button, if keeps on executing. But get key down, if I press on it once and keep my finger on it, on the button, if it executes only once, and I have to repress it to get the if statement to execute again. So let me show you. Go to Unity, and now let's play the game. I'm gonna press on spacebar and keep my hand on the spacebar. See, my hand is still on the spacebar, but the capsule is not jumping anymore. It's not climbing up anymore. It came back to the ground. Now I'm gonna show you what get key without the down does. So let's do get key to see what it does, to show you what get key does. So save it and go to Unity. Now I'm gonna press on spacebar and keep my hand on spacebar and see what it does. Let's play the game. See? I still have my hand on the spacebar. It's still climbing. I don't know what. So I put get key down again, and let me show you what it does again. I already showed it, but I'm gonna explain it again just for people who didn't get it. So let's play the game. Now when I press and hold my spacebar, that's it. It doesn't go up again like it went last time. It only goes once. I have to keep pressing it and for it to go upward. Even if I keep my hand on the spacebar, it doesn't continue on by climbing upward.